Off-Grid Tiny House. Today is a very special day. I'm going to do an unboxing here, and been waiting for a decent battery for the Off-Grid Tiny House for a long time. It's finally here. I want to thank my my Patreon members, Yupper, Pierre, Pam, for all their support, and I want to thank anybody out there on YouTube land that has been thumbing up my videos, even though they don't think it needs it or deserves it. It definitely helps my channel out, though I noticed a big decline lately, so hopefully you guys get back to doing that. But let's get into it, guys. This is going to be quite the open boxing, I gotta admit that. So you guys probably know what this is, considering all the videos leading up to this, right? If you're a subscriber, that is. Here we go. Let's see. Oh my. Oh my. Alright, so we got a big piece of foam. And we have a sales sheet of some other products. And if this battery turns out to be sweet, I will be buying again from this company. LiFePO4 battery user manual, made in China. Let's check it out. Oh God. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery. Says I gotta go over the manual carefully, so I will be definitely doing that. Okay. After installing the battery according to the installation manual, fully charge the battery before using it for the first time. Fully charged and discharged for 3 to 5 times, the battery can reach its maximum capacity. To prolong its life, charge those batteries in time when the capacity is low. Okay, here comes the broken English. If the batteries are not charged in time, leaving the battery efficient state for a long time will affect the battery life. Yeah. Okay. Working temperature of the battery is 5 to 40 degrees Celsius. Optimal working temperature is 15 to 35 degrees Celsius. Beyond this temperature range, the performance of the battery may change. Okay. Alright. A lot of this is common knowledge. Never put waste batteries into a fire. Oh my God. Some of this is pretty funny. Okay. Let's see what's on the back side here. Okay. Now we're getting into something interesting. Alright. Charging setting for LiFePO4 battery. bulk voltage 3.65 N. N equals number of series. Okay. Oh. Regular nominal voltage and series number. Just for reference, if you're not sure of the nominal voltage, please check with the salesperson. Okay, so on the chart, it says, since this is a 12 volt battery, it says series number 4S, nominal voltage 12.8 volts. Okay. I'll keep this, but we'll see what's going on. 2-year warranty on the BMS. Okay. That booklet is not very helpful. Here is the battery, guys. Let me tilt you down. If I turn this button on, it says we're sitting at 13 volts. There's a light built in for this display, and it's at 78% charge, which is sweet. Take this plastic off. So it has nice heavy-duty rope handles, which I'm gonna probably take this battery out of this box. Whoa. Let's see what else is in the bottom of this box. Not much. So we'll keep this stuff, and I will have to move the battery obviously over to the off-grid tiny house, because that's where it lives. So this one is it's a plastic case. The battery is about 30 pounds, I would assume. LiFePO4 is the brand. Here we go. Check this out. Can you see? No, you can't. I'll try to zoom this in a bit. So, LiFePO4 battery, 12 volt, 100 amp hour. Charge current, 100 amps. Continuous discharge, 100 amps. Peak current, 120 amps. Max charge voltage, 14.6 volts. Size, 330 by 175 by 220 millimeter. Do not connect battery in series, because that's something I want to get into. Lithium batteries, guys, these type that have their own BMS, everything fully installed, ready to go, they do not like series, so you want to parallel them. But that's perfectly fine for what I'm doing, because when you parallel them, you increase the capacity, the amp hours, and that's kind of what you need for a decent battery bank for an off-grid system. Do not load, do not expose to liquid, vapor, or rain. Do not expose the battery to fire and high temperature. Never cut, puncture the battery. Okay. That's cool. Now let's take a look at, zoom back out. I want to take a look at the battery terminals here. Now these are very similar. This is actually very similar to the battery, my deep cycle AGM battery in the tiny house currently. It's the same type of connector, color coded, and a thread connection, and it looks like there's a washer there. Yep. So that's pretty interesting. Now, one thing I'm going to wonder about is there's not much room here for expansion. So I'm assuming if I put some type of bar on here or something to be able to add more lugs to these terminals, because remember guys, I have to connect this one lug will be the MPPT charge controller, another lug will be the inverter, and by the time both of those are on there, there's not much room left for expansion. I'd probably have to make a smaller one up for a load center, because I want to have 12 volt loads, and I'm gonna have to fuse the loads because this puppy this has a lot of capacity to send through, so that'll be interesting. So for today, this guy is going to remain at my parents' house where it was delivered to, and I will, when I get done and caught up with work, my day job, I will make time to get this over there to the tiny house, shoot a video, definitely, of me hooking everything up and not turning on the solar power. Now, what are you guys telling me about? What are you guys going to say about that? You're going to say, what? What do you mean? That's the whole point. Well, I need to go into the, when I hook this up to the MPPT charge controller, guys, in a previous video I've stated I have to set it up properly, because if I do not have it set properly on gel and it goes into like equalization mode or something, the BMS internally in here will stop the nonsense and cut the connection. We don't want that ever to happen. We don't want to ever get it to that point, because the BMS is kind of like your safeties. So you want to have your program your MPPT charge controller properly to handle a lithium iron phosphate battery. And the only way to really do that, because my MPPT charge controller does not have a lithium setting, the closest thing to that is a gel. So you set it to gel, and there is also a user customization option, which is a fully custom option, and I will be getting into that later when I get some good advice from Stu High Tech Guy 18 and Bobby Solar Homestead, because he's right in there with the lithiums. They know everything way more than I do, and I want to do this right and have this battery last me years and years and years. And that's the whole point. Instead of buying an AGM deep cycle battery that'll last 5 years, maybe a little bit more, this should outpace it 10 to 15 years plus minimum. Think about that, guys. I know you're paying more up front, but there you go. And that's 100 amp hours. And with lithium iron phosphate, guys, as opposed to lead acid, these guys can push amps like no other lead acid battery can. If you did a comparison between 100 amp hour deep cycle AGM and this guy, which is this, it's iron phosphate, different chemistry, this will outperform it hands down, because these things can push amps as lead acids cannot. This thing could, believe it or not, if I had like maybe 4 of these paralleled, I could probably run a window air conditioner. That's a lot of amps that these things could push. That's insane. Maybe if I'm lucky enough that my YouTube channel takes off, I get to that point, that'd be sweet. But for now, stay tuned for videos. If you want to see more about this, guys, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you got all the notifications on. Like the video, and if you really want to get early access to everything I'm going to do with this guy, consider becoming a Patreon member for only $1 a month. Help support my channel. You help me get cool new stuff like this. And, you know, you get access to all my upcoming videos before everybody else, ad-free, uncut. And you get to watch it at your leisure. No ads, no crap popping up on the screen. You can just sit back, full screen it. I normally do 1 hour segments live, and I go through everything I was doing that day or that week or whatever, and you guys get to see all that before the public by the weeks and months most of the time. So please consider becoming that. You can find the link to become a Patreon member on my main YouTube channel. You just click support my Patreon. There's a button on there that'll bring you to the website. You sign up, sign on to my page, register, and you're good to go. Alrighty, guys. Lithium iron phosphate battery is here at the Off-Grid Tiny House.